Hello again, I am Radullah Khan. Today I'll cover the React flag uh, and I'm going to answering 5 questions. So first one is what is React? Tell us about advantages and disadvantages of using React. React actually is a open source JavaScript library which was officially released in 2013. After getting released, it's becoming more and more popular. Uh, and the advantage, there are so many advantages using React. It makes the web applications faster. You can reuse as it is a component based you could say framework. As in the principle is it's a component. It creates web application based on components, small components. So you can reuse those components, reuse those components as you want, as they are independent component, and uh, and it's scalable. Because once you build a component, as you can reuse again. So and React use virtual DOM mechanism to make it faster. These are the actually advantage. There are few disadvantages. Suppose documentation is not that elaborate, based on the though again the advantage is, though there is a huge large community to get help from the community. And I think these are the advantages and disadvantages of React. What is why will you use React.js? The first reason is actually React.js is easy to learn compared to other library or framework, and it has some, as as the first question I already elaborated the advantages. Because of those advantages, I'm going to use React.js. What is virtual DOM and what are the difference between virtual and real DOM? As you guys are developer, you know there is a DOM, which is stands for document object model. React doesn't use that DOM initially. It creates another virtual DOM. Actually, it's a carbon copy of that DOM. React works in this way because to make the web application faster. Because if you would like to update or change the DOM, it's really time consuming, and it's not practical because it's going to change the whole DOM. So application will be slower. What React does, that it makes it compare its own virtual DOM to the real DOM. If anything is changes or updated, the React will change that particular area or components, not the entire DOM. Finally, it's actually without changing the whole document, it's only changed that particular part. This is why React DOM is faster, and this is the concept of virtual DOM. And this is the difference between virtual and real DOM. Virtual DOM and real DOM. Differences between props and state. Props is actually the short form of properties. It's actually used to pass the data from one component to another component. On the other hand, state is used to change within the components, and props are immutable. It means you can't modify, but you can state are mutable. And so, and as props are not mutable, so this is also read-only data. And on the other hand, state is you can read and write the state data. What is the purpose of state? What is the purpose of state? What is a context API? How does it work? The context API, the concept of concept of context API is to share the same data through to multiple component. Those might be at different those might be stay on different level. So usually what we do for we know that in React data is flowing from up to down at the very low level, which is actually data flow from parents to child. Suppose you have multi-level structure, component structure. So if you want to pass the data from a parent to grandparents to a grandchild, you have to pass data on several levels, which is actually time consuming and complicated. You have to go through each level, but context API give you the access. It allows you to pass the data from grandchild to grandchildren directly. You don't need to use prop drilling. So there's the idea of context API. Difference between use effect and use state. Actually, use state and use effect, both of them are default default hooks of React. What use state? Why we are using use state? We are using use state to change the data. Suppose change the state. Use state can contain one initial value, and it gives two value. Actually, it can carry the initial state, and it gives us two values. One is current value. One carry the current value, which is actually argument, and the second value is a function, actually which actually set the state. And use effect, actually, if you want to fetch data from externally, fetch data from external resource, then you have to use use effect. If you, as a second parameter, you can use a dependency when you use effect hooks, because if you add the dependency, if the dependency changes, then and the component will be re-rendered again. This is the difference, basic difference, that we use state hooks for change the state, and on the other hand we use effect state to import or fetch the data from external source. What is JSX and how does it work? JavaScript syntax extension. The short form is JSX, actually, which allows us to use HTML HTML like elements in JavaScript. Actually, JSX is a sugar coating code. Externally, it seems a HTML component, but in reality, it's actually uh, convert before before uploading to the browser is actually converted or compiled before a compiler called Babel. Babel, it's compile it, then it's upload to browser. There is a function called react.createElement, which actually does all of this mechanism with the help of Babel compiler. What is the purpose of custom hooks? And actually, there are few default React hooks, which are actually functions, and custom hooks actually you can use. Custom hooks actually, those are actually a reusable function. You can create on your own. Suppose you need to use a function for multiple component, you can use this kind of technique, which is actually ultimately a function. And the purpose of custom hooks is to make we have a policy, dry and don't repeat yourself, and it keeps the code clean. It's helpful. We can reuse. We can use the same function for different components. It makes the web application manageable, and I think those are the facilities of custom hooks. I think I cover more than 5 questions. Actually, I'm trying to explain to improve my English skills. Thank you for watching. Please give your feedback.